Welcome, you're watching Kaleidoscope Srilanka Live News Capsule.
Last week, the Supreme Court issued an interim order preventing the implementation of the Cabinet decision to grant approval for online visa electronic travel authorization to a private company. The decision comes after massive protests and controversy surrounding the issue and the industry taking the matter to court. Regular guest on our show, Rohan Pethiyagoda, even exampled what happens when a tourist tries to apply for a visa in a video that went viral. But despite all the protestations, were all these fears unfounded given the tourism numbers we've seen? Let's ask him, shall we?
Rohan, welcome. Always in the midst of a controversy, and this time we are dealing with that new visa processing system initiated by the government in April. What are your main objections?
Primarily, I'm against the lack of transparency in the whole system. This is based on an unsolicited offer that was made by a nebulous entity based in Dubai. It has had no competitive bidding process. It involves every tourist that now comes into Sri Lanka, according to the Parliamentary Committee on Public Finance, according to evidence that they've put in the public domain. Every tourist now has to pay more than $25 fee to this offshore entity. We don't know who it belongs to, who the beneficiaries are. This is all very opaque. And for getting no service. The service involved in what they're doing is just accepting the application form from the tourist and giving it to the Department of Immigration and Immigration. They don't do any verification, authentication, nothing. By contract. So this is, to my mind, nothing short of a scam.
So, everyone agrees that Sri Lanka needs to attract more tourists, but we also need to ensure we have better national security. Isn't that what this new system is about, or what you're telling me is that there's no verification?
At the outset, what they said was, in the unsolicited proposal, the word security is used 30 times. I checked myself. In the contract that was actually signed with the government, the word has disappeared altogether. Instead, there is a provision that this entity, this company that is providing the so-called service to the government, is not responsible for any data verification or any data authentication. All they do is take the form and give it to the Department of Immigration and Immigration. And for that, they are charging every tourist $25 in so-called service fees and convenience fees, whatever those are. So make what you will of it, but to me, it smells highly of fish.
Sri Lanka Tourism Promotion Bureau Chairman Chalaka Gajba, who said recently that we will be issuing free visas to 67 countries with the aim of bringing more foreign tourists to Sri Lanka. So, I mean, this is an easy process. Isn't that the solution?
That is a nonsensical solution if you think about it. Reason being this, free visa is not the same as visa free. People still have to apply through this nebulous process, pay the convenience fee, the service charge, in order to get the free visa. Free visa only means that the government gets no revenue. This offshore entity will continue to get their share.
So we're losing money. The country is losing money.
This is revenue that belongs to the people of Sri Lanka. It's money that should come into the consolidated fund. Article 148 of the Constitution clearly says that all this money should be under the supervision of Parliament. Parliament has to decide. But yet, this is being siphoned off before it gets into the country, into this offshore Dubai destiny, and Dubai is notoriously opaque. It's still on the European grey list for money laundering. As a nation, one of the few nations to be in that situation, even Sri Lanka is given more respect than Dubai when it comes to this kind of thing. So to my mind, this is entirely a very shady and suspect transaction.
Now, the government says that tourism arrivals are higher this year, despite this whole convoluted visa processing system. Does that mean that your fears are unfounded?
So what matters in tourism is, what is the share of the tourism we are getting out of the tourists who want to come to this region? To India, to Malaysia, Indonesia, the Maldives, and so on. And our battle is to get the maximum number of those tourists coming to this place. Now, if you go to the Maldives, for example, you just give your passport and they let you in. It's the same in Singapore. Most of these countries have made it very easy for tourists to come into their country. Here, we've got a website, as I've shown on my YouTube video, which is a devil of a job to use. In fact, our own national immigration website, when a tourist applies for a visa, they have to select whether they want to, first of all, go to Azerbaijan or to Malta or to Brazil before Sri Lanka comes in as the 16th option on the list. It's not even visible. This is our own national immigration website. Go and check it. So this is a ridiculous scam that's been perpetrated on the Sri Lankan people. The software in this process is something that my two kids could have written in 15 minutes. This is not rocket science. And remember, Ranil Wickremesinghe has been talking all these years about developing national software capability. We're talking about this e-commerce nation of Sri Lanka. Why give this to some shady Dubai-based entity? We've got, for example, companies like Millennium Software, which are running the London Stock Exchange, the South African and Italian stock exchanges, with Sri Lankan software. And are you saying that we can't do this simple thing in Sri Lanka? If that is not unpatriotic, what is?
Kaleidoscope is on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Don't forget to subscribe, follow, and like us for more.
You focus on your goals. We will take care of the risks. Srilanka Life.